Hello, everybody. My name is Eddie Gonzalez. I am a Mexican restaurant owner in Taiwan. And I also have a live podcast that I do every Tuesday night. And I'm very happy to be here for the Lin's Affair podcast. Thank you guys for inviting me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.
Welcome back, this is Fair， 我是 Tim。今天呢算是很久的这个英文的访谈，然后今天只有我一个人。那今天呢是因为上次有一个非常好的机会，可以跟这个 Eddy 做一期这个 podcast， 然后我们聊了很多为什么我会接触 podcast， 然后到就是做了这么久之后，观察这个整个 podcast 的这个状况。那今天呢很不一样，换成是我来访问 Eddy， 就是我也还是来到这个 Eddy 的餐厅，然后很开心我们会有一个非常好的一个访谈内容。那整集呢，就是还是以英文为主啦，因为毕竟这个 Eddy 的母语还是英文。那我们就会从一开始 Eddy 的这个生长环境，到这个 Eddy 怎么会来台湾开这个餐厅的这整个过程，然后到 Eddy 开始做 podcast 的整个心路历程会开始这样子。那我们就接下来就是本期节目的正式开始。So it's gonna be a very good podcast today.
Thanks.
So we're gonna have Eddy on the show. So can you say hello to the fans?
Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. Don't forget to subscribe to Lin's Affair podcast. It's very good.
Yeah. So you talk about your like background in Canada, right? So
Sure.
how does it look like to like growing up in Canada?
So my family's Mexican,
Okay.
right? So I am the first one born in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So inside my house was always like this restaurant, really, just Mexican food, Mexican music, all of that stuff. And it was great. And then the cool thing was outside, of course, it's Canada, so I get to meet all my Canadian friends.
Okay.
So that was a cool way to learn two languages. Yeah, being born speaking Spanish, and then outside to learn English. So now it was cool to have, two languages.
And right now is the third one, right? Chinese.
That's right. 中文也还不错.
Okay.
Yeah. So three.
So
yeah.
when did you come to Taiwan? Like 20 years ago, 15 years ago?
So I came to Taiwan about, over 20.
Over
It's
20.
20. So I think like December 2002, something like, so more than 20, man.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah, 22.
Probably almost as long as you. So I came here and my idea was to come for 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
And maybe learn the language, but I just came here because I finished school. I was coaching soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was going good, but I wanted to be a police officer in Canada.
No, back then.
In Canada,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
20,
Okay.
I don't know, 20-something years ago.
Okay.
So I went and I did my police test, and I passed. And I did all my written and all my physical, did everything. I passed everything.
Okay.
And I got all the way to the last interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was maybe 21.
Okay.
And I failed the last interview because they said I was too young. And they said that I need to have like a life experience, but like what they meant was I need to have some kind of bad experience happen to me, and then they can see how I react to it.
Okay.
But my life has been pretty good. And my parents are good.
Okay.
You know, if you know, I've come from a small town. There's not too much going on. Not too many bad things there. So, you know, I said, okay, so what should I do? They said, you take two years and reapply. And I said, what should I do for 2 years? And they said, go get life experience. So I finished my soccer coach job, and then I came here. I was going to go to Mexico, but I thought I always wanted to come to Asia. So I looked online. I knew somebody who lived in Taichung for a while.
Okay.
And I said, how hard is it to come and teach English here? And so I came here to teach English. I also coach soccer here. I did that for a long time. And after 2 years, I thought I actually enjoy my life in Taiwan much more than in Canada.
Wow. So you first came here to teach English and
That's right.
soccer, right?
Yes.
In
100%.
Taichung.
No, I actually came to Taipei because I knew a guy that lived in Taichung, but I came to Taipei because I come from a very small town, and it's a little, it's a small town. There's not much there's not much to do sometimes. Okay. So it's not boring. It's a good spot. Mm-hmm. But I thought if I want to go to big city,
like experience life.
Yeah, I said I want to go to a bigger city. So I went to college in this was before I went to college in like a medium-sized city. It was great, and I thought if I'm going to come here, I'm just going to go to the capital city, big city, and try. So yeah, that I came here.
So first stop will be Taipei.
Taipei, yes.
How was like experience when you teach English here? Like when you were like first 2 years or 3 years?
At that time there was not that many foreigners, right?
What kind of education system you go?
Personally, myself, I just went to like normal local school in Canada, and then I did some college on Vancouver Island, and that was okay. I personally was never very good at school, honestly. So yeah, I'm lucky I didn't grow up here. Man, it would have been hard for me here.
Yeah.
But I did school, and I did okay. I just found I was a little bored, I think. I don't know. I just didn't like it that much. So yeah, I like people. I wanted to help people. So I wanted to be a police officer. But yeah, so my schooling was not like super great.
Okay.
But when I came here, I found that first I coached soccer in Canada for a long time.
Okay.
Since I was maybe 12. I've always been coaching, volunteer, and then slowly improve and slowly take it as a job.
Yeah.
And I think that soccer has been amazing because like this way I was always teaching kids. So when I came to teach English. It was super easy for me to do because I was always really good with kids. So teaching English was good, was easy. And then coaching soccer was great. So yeah, I started to teach here, coach here. I found that at that time there was not too many foreigners, right? So, oh man, everywhere I went, everybody's just offering me a job. Everywhere I went.
Wow.
I just go to like across the street to, eat tieban sao, right?
Yeah.
Mosquito. Just go to get some teppanyaki. And then everybody, all of the schools around there, anybody who was associated with the school, they would come here and they would just ask me, they're like, oh, you have a job? I said, oh, yeah, I have a job. I said, come and work for me. I come teach my kids, do private, do whatever. Everywhere I went, everybody's just offering me work. It was crazy, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when we first hear like teaching English, is your private school or like one-on-one English lesson?
Private school because they had to sponsor my visa. So they sponsored my ARC.
Okay.
And I worked at a school called Carleton International School. I worked with them for a long time. And yeah, that was the first school. So yeah, they were good. They were a good first school. Yeah, for sure.
How's the kids like English level back then?
You know what? I think kindergarten is I always like kindergarten the most.
Okay.
And the kindergarten level is, hold on one sec. Joe, do you have to blend right now? Joe, do you have to blend right now? I'm not with you, man. Well, don't do too much of that, please. Thank you. Sorry. I can turn to AI and that will cut out the background if we need.
Okay.
So
it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I just cut it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Sorry. Yeah, so basically, I came here when I was teaching, and the English level of the kids, I think kindergarten is, for me, the best because the kids, they learn really quickly. So my first 2 years, I actually had the same 6 kids. So I spent basically 2 years teaching 6 kids, kindergarten. And after the 2 years, these 6 kids, their English was amazing. Just like my daughter now speaks perfect English, fluent English.
Okay.
And so these kids were the same. And the funny update on that was about a month, maybe 2 months ago, 2 of the boys, they came to visit me here.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're like 25 now.
25?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I seen them come in and I saw these 2 boys, they look familiar. And then behind them, I saw the parents. And I said, oh my God, the parents look exactly the same, just a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
And I said, oh my, and then I look at the boys and I can see the boys are the same 2 boys. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen these 2 boys for 20 years.
Wow.
And they came here and we chatted, we ate dinner and we had like a beer and chatted. And it was amazing. And all of the stuff that I taught them and all the stuff that I was very interested in, like Spider-Man and like Han Solo and stuff like that. They still love that stuff because they learned that from me when I was like 23 or something. It was really cool. It was a really cool thing, man. Really good kids. So their level was amazing. The like elementary level was definitely less than now, much less than now.
Okay.
But I don't want to say like I'm a super good teacher, but I was always really good with kids. So I thought that, I think I did a pretty good job. Not bad. A lot of them still come to visit me now, which is crazy. But that was the first time, like kindergarten. 25 years ago or 20 years ago came to see me. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, because learning English in Taiwan is pretty hard, compared to you wanted to learn English in Canada or in the States because the environment. But
Sure.
as a previous like English teacher, what's your opinion for young kids to learn English, especially in speaking and listening?
I think that I think in Taiwan, actually the English is good. The English level is very good. But what happens in Taiwan is everybody's too 不好意思 to speak.
Okay.
Right? So actually, if you force someone to speak, they understand and they can speak.
Yeah.
But usually they're too shy. They won't speak. So I think have the chance to speak more. I think watch more English podcasts. Right?
Eddy's podcast.
Watch the podcast. Come watch my podcast for sure.
Yeah.
I think that if you have some foreign friends, just always take the chance to speak to people. I know for me, still now people will they will say, on the streets they will start to speak English to me.
Right.
There's a mosquito here.
Yeah.
They'll come and speak to me and say, hello, how are you? My name is, Bailey. I'm 12 years old or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't mind. I'm happy to always chat with people. I know some foreigners don't like it.
Right.
So if you have a chance, I think speak more. I know that their level in Taiwan, the reading is amazing always. And the writing is always good.
Right.
Because Taiwanese people are very good at school, right?
Yeah.
But I think the speaking, because people are shy usually. So the social part, the shy part is it's tough. But if you can just get out and just talk more, mostly people, I think most of the foreigners here are happy to talk because they're, they live here. Like we live in Taiwan. This is not like our own country. We came here and we are like the Uyghur here. So we're happy to speak, right?
Yeah.
Usually. Sometimes you get it like, an ass, but usually everyone's pretty happy. Yeah.
Yeah, but some people just afraid of their pronunciations.
Yeah.
It's not very good. The
Yeah.
accent is not very correct.
Yeah.
But only speak can improve, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. The problem is they're scared to make a mistake. But I think it doesn't matter. Just try. For me, with my Chinese, I make so many mistakes all the time, and I think no one cares. They will just like say, "Wow, your Chinese is good," or they will say, "Oh, you're trying, so that's good."
Right.
So it's the same thing. I think if people want to talk, just try. The worst that can happen is you make a mistake.
Right.
I mean, is someone going to laugh at you?
No.
99.9% of people will not laugh at you.
Yeah.
So probably not. No. So I think just take the chance to talk, and I think Taiwan is a good place because everybody's really polite and really happy and friendly.
Yeah.
So I think most of the people that come here, even if they're not happy, friendly, the longer they stay here, they become like happy, friendly people. Because if everybody's friendly, then there's no reason to not be friendly. So I think talk to more people, and watch movies, watch podcasts and stuff like that. And I mean, the good thing about podcasts, if it's on YouTube, is if you have a question, you can just put it in the comments, and usually the person will respond. Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Chinese, when did you start to learn Chinese when you're in Taiwan?
So I of course I came here. I didn't know any Chinese before I came,
Right.
and I thought I came after my second year. I had only a little bit of Chinese, but that was the time I made the decision I want to learn Chinese because.
So did you go to the course or?
So I went for a course a couple months to take to learn Bopamofo.
So
right?
you learn Bopamofo is not
a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because everybody here, like as a foreigner, they learn like Pinyin.
They learn Pinyin.
Yeah.
Which actually I think is a mistake. I think it's a huge mistake.
Okay.
Because most of the foreigners that learn Pinyin, not all, but the pronunciation is bad because of the Pinyin.
Compared to Bopamofo.
But if you learn Bopamofo, you can actually hear the word. If you do, even if you don't understand the word, you can hear the p. You can hear like ji, chi, shi. You can hear it.
Yeah.
But if you just learn Pinyin, you can't hear it. You can't learn it.
It's not.
So actually, I think Bopamofo is superior to Pinyin by far. So for me, when I speak, even if I'm wrong, but if I have to repeat, people will say, "Oh, the pronunciation. Well, your pronunciation is very good." It's 100% because I learned Bopamafa.
Okay.
Now, 20 years later, can I write all the Bopamafa? No, I can't. I forgot. But I can still hear all of them. Yeah. So I think Bopamafa is super important. It's huge. I think what is it? Juing Fu Hao, right?
Right.
I think it's super important.
But Pinyin is easier way for foreigners to learn.
It is the easiest way.
Yeah.
But sometimes the easiest way is not the best way. I think so. For me, 100%. If you have a chance, it's not that hard. It's like an alphabet, right?
Right.
But it's basically an alphabet of sounds. So if you can learn this sound and then you can hear tone differences and stuff, then you can actually understand.
Yeah.
Maybe not understand, but you can hear the word. For me, before Bopamafa, when someone would say a word that I didn't know, it was just like just gibberish. But with after Bopamafa, I can actually hear this word, and then I can say, "Oh, what does that mean?"
Yeah. But I heard about like so many foreigners say, for Chinese, the hardest part will be the writing.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So, consider the writing part. How do you improve the kind of like different kind of letters or different kind of sentences?
So for me, my writing is like almost zero, right? So I don't have because I didn't really do school for that.
Yeah.
But like my daughter, she writes. So it's like when you grow up, you have to write your characters every day.
Yeah.
I think that if you need to learn and read and write, then you have to take a course.
For sure.
Or some kind of book that's going to show you the stroke orders. But I think if speaking, I think you can just Taiwanese people are the same. Like I said, they were happy to speak.
Right.
Like I think that reading and writing. Yeah, for me, I can't really do too much with it. But like I said, Bopamafa is very easy. It's like an alphabet. If you can learn that, what I did, my trick was always to, when I hear people talk, because I could do Bopamafa, then I can hear the whole sentence, even if I don't know all the words. And then I'll say, well, what does that mean? And they say, oh, that means we're going shopping tomorrow. Then I wouldn't learn words. I would learn the whole phrase. So if I would learn a whole phrase, then that's what people in Taiwan say. They will say this whole phrase.
Yeah.
And slowly, when I use it, it becomes like one of my phrases. And then if I learn it, and then I'm outside and I hear somebody say that, right? And then I know, and then I hear someone say it. Then for me, it just solidifies in my brain. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Now I have that phrase. Forever, I think. Yeah.
Just gonna remember everything.
Just like remember the sentence, and then just keep it there. And it's kind of like in like a store, like a soft storage. And then when somebody outside says it, it's like boom. Then it becomes like hard storage for me. Anyways. Yeah.
Well, it's better to do.
Just learn a sentence. That's what I think. Learn sentences. Or like we're gonna go whatever play. 我们明天要出去玩，我们要去台北玩. And then when I get it, then I can hear that, and it's good. I think it's pretty good, and then I think that, it helped me a lot. It helps me a lot. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you teach English here, and before you open a restaurant, so you still like take your time to teach English, or you do anything else?
I coach soccer. I did English for about 5 or 6 years here, I think, and then I coached soccer from after about 6 months. Then I start to coach soccer because I love coaching soccer, and that's what I always did. And that was good, man. I did that for a little while, and it was good. I don't know. I was working a lot because originally I thought I will come here, make some money, and then go home. Yeah. But it's such a good place, man. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and everybody was so nice. It was a little weird at first because I had zero Chinese, and everywhere you go, everyone's like, "Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?" Because no foreigner, right? But then after a while, you become used to it, and then people keep staring because you're not Chinese. You look different, so people will keep staring. But after a while, you get used to it, and I mean, sometimes that happens now still. And even my daughter will be like, "How come these people are staring so much?" And I'm like, "It's just normal. You have to get used to it." Yeah. But I think it's been good teaching here for about 5 or 6 years. Yeah. And even my first year of the restaurant, we did a night market stand, and my schedule during that time was I would teach kindergarten from 8:30 to 12, then I would go home, eat lunch, and I would prepare the food for the stand, right? I would prepare the food, and then at 2 to 4, I would go back and teach again, and then I would go back, get all the food, take my wife, take her to the stand, set up the stand, start to sell food. Then I would go coach soccer for 2 hours, and then I come back at about, what was it, like 7 or something, and then from 7 to about 10 or 11, we would sell food. So that first year was crazy. It was a really busy year for me. But, you know, I feel, you know, you have to try. And you know, I was young, so it's no problem, like 28 or something.
Only 28?
Yeah, something. So no, 28 or 29.
Wow.
So it was okay, no problem, yeah. We had no kids, you know, nothing to do. So, yeah, it was okay.
You can easily arrange your time, your plan.
Yeah, with kids, it's different, yeah. So my daughter's 12 now. But, yeah, it's also good, I think. Kids are great.
But why you decide to, like, go into like food or restaurant stuff like when you were 28, 29 years old?
Because my wife, after we got married, my wife was, she was also a teacher, and she, how can I say? So sometimes when you teach English, when you're just kind of like the you know, the dumb Waiguren, right? They just give you like the English, and that's it. Yeah, you don't have to do anything extra, right? But if you're the Taiwanese person that also teaches English, they make you do so much extra, like admin stuff. Like they just give you tons of extra work. Right. So my wife was teaching, but she just had so much extra stuff she had to do all the time, and she didn't like it, right? Yeah. And it's like always like free, you know. So you have to do all this stuff. Yeah. So like, my wife didn't really like that, and so I asked her, you know, we're married now, right? So what do you want to do? And she said her dream was to own a coffee shop. And I think coffee shop's very popular in Taiwan. Yeah. I think a lot of people or a lot of women here, their dream is to own a coffee shop with like, you know, some jazz Nora Jones and, you know, like very, very like chill place. Right. And I told her, for me, I am drinking coffee now, but I didn't really drink much coffee at the time. Even still now, I don't drink much. But I told her, you know, there's a lot already. Right. And you know, my family is Mexican, and you've tried the food before, so you know, maybe we can do something with this. And so then we opened a stand. We were walking up and down Laojie, Danshui Laojie. Cool. And there was one stand that had like a Thai Shi Nai Cha, you know, and we would always get it. And we asked the lady, we said, how do you get a spot here? And she said, well, the person who owns the building owns the little piece of land in front. Yeah. So you just talk to them. And I said, well, oh, cool. Well, who owns the building? She said, actually, I'm giving out, this is my last month here. So if you want this spot, then talk to the guy next door and figure it out. So we talked to the guy, and he said, yeah. She's out next month. So if you want it, pay the deposit. You got to pay. So I said, okay, we'll think about it. And the guy said, these places go really quick. So the next day, you know, we went home, we talked, and we thought about it. We were not even ready. But then I told her, you want to try? Let's, you know, screw it. Let's just try. What's the worst that can happen? You know, you lose a few $100,000 on your stand or whatever, and then that's it, right? Yeah. But what's the best that could happen? Well, this, right? Yeah. So we tried, and it was super hard. And but we did it. We did 1 year there, and then we moved to a small restaurant in Danshui for 3.5 years, and then like a medium-sized restaurant in Tianmu for, they overlap a little bit. That one was about 10 years, and then this one's like maybe 6 or 7, maybe.
6 or 7.
Something like, I can't really remember. But yeah, something like that. They all overlapped a year or two. Oh, okay. But yeah, so there was a few times where we had 2 restaurants, and this time we closed the other one just before COVID. And yeah, now it's okay. It's pretty good. Business has been pretty good, aside from the earthquakes and everybody getting scared to go out. Right. But yeah, aside from that, it's been pretty good. Not bad. Yeah.
But so far, what is the hardest part for you, like running the restaurant? Like when you started the stand in Danshui Laojie, but right now you have your own business.
Sure. At the time, it was just us, and we were just working, and it was okay. And then one of the things we had to do was hire staff, right? We have to hire staff, but we have to figure out how to hire. Right. Then we have to figure out how to train them. And then we have to figure out how to, you know, run a restaurant. Because I had no experience. Right. My wife had no experience. Right. We knew how to do the stuff ourselves, but to teach somebody is tough.
Yeah.
And then even harder than that, to teach someone, and then like 3 levels, right? You teach you, and then you teach this person, and then this person has to teach the next person.
Right.
So to do that's actually quite a hard skill. But I have some chef friends that helped me systemize and stuff with the restaurant, so that helps a lot.
Right.
Before that, I was like one-on-one teaching every cook how to be a chef, and then the thing is, every chef has a different taste.
Yeah.
So some people, if they eat really salty, they make very salty everything.
Wow. Okay.
And if some people, they don't like salt too much, then all my food has no salt, and then it has no taste. So we had to. A friend, one of my good friends is a chef. He showed me how to like make the recipes, but like measuring everything by the gram and stuff like that.
Very important.
And then this way, it's very consistent.
Yeah.
This was the probably one of the best things I learned, because to teach every single person how to be a chef was tough, but to teach everybody how to follow a recipe, like, okay, when I make a new dish, I will do it myself a few times, and then while I'm doing it, I will measure everything, right? And then when I think, okay, I nailed it, I'll do it a couple times, and then when I'm going to put it on the menu, I will show the staff, okay, I will make it really simple. Like, 5 grams this, 2 grams this, 1 gram this, add this, step 2, add this, step 3, add this, and then make it like that. That way it becomes very consistent, because to teach somebody to be a chef is hard.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
but did you think, like, I was thinking when I came here, like, because you're doing Mexican food when you start the stand in Damshui, and did you think that's the hardest part for you to deliver Mexican food back then, or even now?
I think especially that nobody knows.
Yeah,
nobody
right now
knew.
there's multiple choices, right?
For Mexican food,
Like
mean?
different foods. Like in Taiwan, you can choose Korean food,
Yeah, of
Japanese
course,
food,
yeah.
Mexican food. But back then, it's quite different from nowadays, right?
there was definitely other options as well, but at that time, we were, I think, the first Mexican place. There's 2 other ones, like legacy old ones, but they were very they were Taiwanese owned, and the food was tasted like very Taiwanese.
Okay.
But eventually those ones are gone, so I think we're the longest now.
Okay.
But the hard thing is to make the food with just local ingredients, which is what we do, because a lot of people say, oh, you have to add this, you have to add that. But if I want those, I have to bring those in from Mexico, which I don't want to do, right?
Okay.
So here we use all the local ingredients to make everything here. And I think the secret for that was my mom. So my mom raised us eating Mexican food in Canada.
Okay.
In Canada at that time, maybe now it's different. At that time, there's no Mexican food, no ingredients for Mexican food.
Wow.
So my mom had to just make Mexican food with all the Canadian ingredients.
Local
with only
ingredients.
local stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what we do here. We make all the Mexican food with all Taiwanese ingredients. We don't import anything. We don't, even the corn tortilla, we use a local Taiwanese corn from a farm they dry it.
Okay.
They send it to us.
Okay.
And then we wash it, and then we do the simmer sort of soak thing overnight.
Yeah.
And then we wash it again, and then we grind it with a little bit of salt, and then we make tortillas out of it.
Okay.
So it's like everything is made from Taiwan. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a lot more work, because I know other places, they just go to Costco and buy tortillas. They buy whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we always get distributors come here. They try to give us like frozen corn tortillas from the U.S. and stuff, but they're not good. Yeah, and I prefer to use local ingredients. Again, it's a lot more work, so that's why we need more staff than a regular place.
Yeah.
But I think it's better and it's healthier. I eat it all the time. My wife eats it. I'll feed my daughter from here, right?
For sure.
So anyone
For
that
sure.
comes here, they're gonna get healthy food. Like usually Mexican food, especially in the U.S., people think it's not healthy because the U.S. they use a lot of like processed, like there's a cheese in the U.S. It's just called like, I don't know what it's called. Like it's like a cheese sauce.
Okay.
Nacho cheese, I think it's called.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like a cheese sauce. It comes in a can, right? And that sauce, when you open the can and you put it in, you put it in a container, put it in the fridge, that sauce takes about like, it won't go bad for like 10 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. I don't know what's in it. It can't be good.
Right.
But a lot of
sure.
places they use that.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, people, yeah. So it's not good.
But people still eat it.
People still eat it, yeah, because they think that's Mexican food, just nacho cheese sauce. It tastes good for sure. Of course, it tastes good because it's chemically created. I don't know what's in there, but yeah, of course, it's like you know, when sometimes you eat something really bad for you, but you know, it tastes good. Yeah. But here we make everything from scratch, so tastes good, but also is healthy. Yeah. Which is important for me because I eat here, my family eats here.
For sure.
And then I also don't want to give my customers, you know, bad food. Yeah.
For sure. But still, like right now, the business is pretty good right now.
Yeah,
but
not bad.
did you have any like challenge, like during these years, and any barriers you're gonna go? And did you have faced any like big challenge?
So of course, COVID is a huge one, right? I don't know if we're gonna talk about COVID. We'll talk about COVID for 1 minute. So basically, COVID was bad because there was no dine-in for 4 years. At that time, we were at our peak. We're actually making like, decent money. Finally, after like 15 years of, you know, kind of up down. And then COVID came. And we had a good amount in our bank account, and we still have some of our team from that time. We kept everybody, and so when there was 4 months of no dine-in, our sales were about 40%, which is we're losing money every month. We're losing money every month
for sure.
So the government says 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and then eventually it was 4 months. So by the end of the 4 months, we were like pretty much to zero. And then when we opened up again, it wasn't like people just rushed in. It was slow.
Just gradually came.
So slow. We had to put the plastic barrier. I remember that.
Yeah, right.
And we had to, it slowly came back. But then, I don't know what it is, but the food cost is up a lot lately. In the last maybe 1 year. The business back is good again, but then the food cost is about like 30% up. So then you have to raise your price a little bit.
For sure.
You have to, then when you raise it, it's okay, but some people will come less, or some people spend less. So it's like a cycle. But yeah, there's a lot. The food cost is another one. The food cost goes up. Then it's not like if the cost goes up 30%, you can just say, okay, everything's 30% higher. You can't just the next day do that. It's hard, right?
For sure.
So you have to slowly add, and then some people, when you add a little bit too much, they don't come back, right?
Sure.
So it's like a balance, And in the beginning, most people, they didn't know Mexican food, but now slowly, there's a few other ones now. People are slowly knowing about it, and like before, people would say, "Oh, 我有吃过墨西哥食物." And I'm like, "Oh, where?" 在台湾嘛? They're like, "Yeah, 对，在台湾." I'm like, "Oh, really? Where?" And they're like, "Oh, 肯德基." So that was what I was like, oh, like, wow, I don't even know what to say. How can I respond to that? I'm like, oh, okay. 好吃吗? They're like, oh, 还不错. Okay. What else can I say, right? What can I say? Nothing, right? It's just like so far, I have no idea what to say. Like, oh, okay, cool. As long as you like the food, you're happy, you come back, then that's fine.
Yeah. But except for the COVID, except for the like the food costs,
okay.
Yeah. Do you have any like barriers, or how do you marketing? How do you do marketing for a restaurant? Because for the foreigners, you have to like connect with the people in Taiwan. And all these customers on the internet. How do you do marketing?
Facebook marketing is really good in Taiwan. I think Facebook ads. So I always learn marketing sort of techniques kind of from Canada, US. And like Facebook ads and stuff like that.
Social media,
Social media ads. I learn all that stuff from. What I like to do is I like to buy a course. You know, like I said, I was really bad at school. I didn't do well in school. But if it's like the first course I bought was a book called 2-cent Facebook ads, right? So it's supposed to be able to bring a customer to your restaurant for 2 pennies, right? And you know, they see a view, they respond, you get their info, they come in. And that for me was amazing.
Okay.
It's not 2 pennies anymore. I wish it still was. I wish it still was. But that was the first thing that I learned. And then I realized Facebook is not just, you know, social media, share pictures with your mom. It's like an actual, it's crazy. It's like a whole.
It's like a platform you can go like
anywhere, right? Yeah. Ooh, these flies are crazy. So it's a platform where you can share with anybody. You could put out, you know, before the organic reach was a lot more.
For sure.
Now you have to pay, but it's still not too bad. It's not too bad. You have to pay Facebook ads. And then I think Facebook, the good thing about it is I think older people use it, right? So older people, I would say like 35 and up, maybe 40 and up, they will still use Facebook. So those guys are usually, kind of a little bit more established in their life, not like a 20-year-old. Like 20-year-old, you're broke, you have nothing, so you can't really spend much, right?
Yeah.
So this place is like special occasion. But when you're like, your 40s or whatever, people can come once a week or whatever. So Facebook is good for that. Like we do some Instagram, but Instagram seems to be a younger crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's going to be people in their mid-20s, I think, maybe 20 to 30, which is okay. The later group is a little bit, they'll come out more and stuff. But I mean, like Facebook is, like, I don't say old people, it's my age, right? Like I'm in my 40s, right? So Facebook, targets those guys and they come out, and Facebook has everybody's information, which is kind of scary, but they know everything that you like. So you can create a targeted ad on Facebook, and you can target like 29-year-old men who live in Tianmu, within 3 kilometers from the restaurant, that like Mexican food and have a pit bull. Like Facebook is crazy.
Yeah, it's like a demographic.
All the demographic, you can put all those things in there, and it'll be like, okay, there's 200 of those.
Maybe they like soccer,
sports, sports.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, oh, there's 200 people, so that's not good. And then you take out the pit bull, and then like, oh, there's 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So send my ad that's like, oh, come here and buy one get one on tacos or something,
or menu stuff.
Yeah, come and do that, and then Facebook will send that to those people, and then they're walking down the street and they're like, oh, buy one get one today, let's go. So Facebook has been huge for me.
For sure.
I know Google is also quite good. I haven't really played with Google too much, because Facebook's just been super easy and super good for me.
So you still use Facebook to this day?
I haven't done any marketing in a long time, because I'm mostly focused now on like the YouTube stuff.
Ah, okay.
But I try to put videos on Facebook, YouTube.
Right.
But I think now the video stuff works better on YouTube and Instagram.
For sure.
And even like I will also even post the video on TikTok. Yeah. I know TikTok is a totally different thing, but if I create a video, and why not just put it on all? Right. So my TikTok reach is really low, but it doesn't matter.
That's the platform you can use.
It costs me $0, and
sure.
and video's already done, and I upload to TikTok, copy paste, put it there. That's done.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. So it costs me nothing. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, so those ones are the big ones.
Nice.
Yeah. But for me personally, the ads and stuff, Facebook has been good. I heard now it's a little bit gone down.
Yeah.
But I haven't had to do it in a long time. So yeah.
But there's one thing I come up with during this conversation is that I think if you can like utilize the healthy the idea of your food going on like during like this social media stuff, it's gonna be very good for you to do the marketing.
I should do that more, right?
Yeah, because people in Taiwan they think if they go outside to eat, the food is gonna be very good, but it's not gonna be very healthy. So if you can
focus more,
emphasize that point, will be like for me, I will be like very interesting with this food because it tastes good, but it's also healthy.
Yeah, no, I should do that. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed, but I definitely need to, because like I recently recorded just kind of like a video of like a while ago. I recorded a video of the girl, one of our staff, grinding the corn. Taking the corn turn into dough, and then we turn it into tortillas. Yeah, and like people were like, "Whoa, that's amazing! Whoa, it's like magic," and that's something we do every day or every second day here. So little things like that, I need to share more.
Yeah, because people nowadays
they don't know. Yeah, right.
They tend to go to like the gym. They're trying to be shape, and they're trying to eat good food, right? Yeah. So I think this way will be very good for you to do the marketing, because you have the point where people trying to have nowadays life. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. Yeah. I should do that more. So yeah, I will take your advice for sure. You'll see some more videos of
yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, and again, like all the vegetables that we get, it all comes local. They're all local. And then one of the cool things was we make hot sauce, right? Yeah. And one of the guys we buy the hot sauce, buy the chilies from, we went to Miaoli for a few days. We actually went to the farm.
Wow.
And it was just like
all the process.
Yeah, just like an older Taiwanese guy. And of course, Taiwanese super friendly. So we went and we're like, hey, we're in Miaoli. We want to come say hello and just have a look at the farm. And he's like, yeah. And when we went, he had like food and he had all this stuff, man. I said, no, we just, and then we're like, oh no. And then I feel so bad. I'm like, okay, so we have to eat and then we talk and then we have a coffee. And then he has all these dehydrator machines that are taking, I actually have the video, taking fresh, cayenne pepper, like the long, like mild ones that are all in all the markets. He grows those, and then he puts them in this machine, and he turns them into like the gongbao jiding chilies.
Wow!
So we saw the process, and I recorded some of that, and then he's like, here, this is, and he broke a couple pieces, and we ate it, and I thought, oh my gosh, so good. So yeah, stuff like that. I will share more of that because I took some video, and I said I will definitely share this. Really cool.
That'd be awesome.
And it's so healthy. And then we went in and we just, again, older Taiwanese guy, super friendly, happy guy. He brings us up and he's like, he picks some like guavas and all this stuff and he gives us. And I'm like, okay. So then we bought a bunch of stuff and we told him that, okay, I will make a push to sell more hot sauce because you're a great guy. Yeah. So I'm going to sell more hot sauce because this old Taiwanese guy is just great, doing a great job. Yeah,
because people always think like good food, like if you tasty, like McDonald's, Kentucky, it's not healthy, but healthy food it's not taste good. So if you combine those two ideas together, it's gonna be wild.
Like Mr. Beast, right? He has his own chocolate brand,
right?
And so when he was testing all the different flavors, when he made it really healthy. And then the taste was not that good, people don't care. If it tastes no good, they're not going to eat it.
Right.
So he had to make like, he only had like 2 ingredients or something, but then he had to add, a couple more like almonds or whatever, like milk or something. So I think he has 5 ingredients now, but now it tastes good and it's
also
still pretty healthy compared to Hershey's and all that.
Yeah.
And people love it.
Right.
So he says, I agree. Still has to be good. I've been to so many health food restaurants, and it's like you're eating it and you're like, but it's good for you. But it's good for you. Eat it, just eat it. It's good for you. But you're not going to go back because you're going to say, I want to eat that again. It's so good. Yeah. So definitely, I agree with that. I just don't promote it as much as I should.
But when we talk about podcasts, when do you decide to have your like own social media and your own channel? Like what bring you to this kind of scenario? So
for me, I am a very big fan of Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if Taiwanese people know him.
Probably.
They think they know him because he's huge,
good.
right?
Yeah.
So when I started, nobody knew who he was in Taiwan, but maybe now they know.
Right.
I'm a big UFC fan. That's how I found Joe Rogan.
Okay.
And so when I went on, I used to watch his interviews with other fighters and other business owners and stuff like that. And it's amazing. I just thought what he does is, of course, he's like a celebrity, so he is able to get famous people right away. He just turns on the camera, hits record. He has like one guy in the back there who changes the camera angles, change the angles like that. They have a little pedal here. Change the angles. And that's it. They just talk about, whatever the guy does, the business or share the guy's story or girl. And it's great. I love it. And I thought, I love this idea because we just closed one of the restaurants. We only had one. And then I thought in the restaurant, I meet like, high school kids. I meet like CEOs of huge companies, CFOs of huge companies, professional fighters, professional athletes, like the Dragons, they come a lot, just comedians, just like other restaurant owners, entrepreneurs, just different kinds of many people. And for me to pick one and then just say, I'm just going to focus on restaurant is harder and is more boring for me. I realize that maybe the channel might grow faster like that, but I still have to like it. It can't be boring. So yeah, I'll meet somebody and they'll tell me, I came here to do like music and I'm plugged into the music scene and we're doing live this and that. I'm like, that's great. Come and tell me about it. This is great. So I've always did that, and slowly I didn't know how to do all this stuff, but slowly I got a little camera and slowly just piece by piece built this little setup here. And yeah, it's been pretty good, man.
But how do you set up your channel like at the beginning? Because for me, I interview like different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Like you
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And some people say, oh, you have to like
you have to pick one.
pick one, like
Yeah.
your topic, right? You
Yeah.
gotta do sports, you gotta do music or like entertainment stuff. But did anyone tell you this kind of stuff at the beginning?
Everybody tells me that.
Oh, really?
They still tell me that. They still tell me that. They still say you have to focus on one.
Maybe restaurant, food, or
Only restaurant,
yeah.
right? And I don't mind to do that, but I just like you. Like you've got a podcast. I love it. And I want to talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about it, right? So I invite you and we talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to be like, sorry, man, I don't do podcasts. So yeah, no. I don't like that. And I find if there's a cool story, I want to share it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Kind of like similar to maybe the news. The news doesn't just focus on one thing.
Right.
But I don't watch the news very much because I get bored. But I mean, topics that I like fighting and soccer. I love podcasts. It's like one of my favorite things.
For sure.
Restaurant stuff. So it's usually that. But if I find like a comedian that comes and they visit and it's like you have a great chat, I'm like, oh, let's do a podcast. Yeah.
Because I always tell people like, people can have different kind of hobby, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You can get interesting with different kind of things. So that's how I do. That's how I run my podcast.
Yeah, and I think what the one common thing is, I try to include Taiwan because we're in Taiwan, and usually the Taiwanese people that they watch it, they want to know, oh, why we're in Taiwan?
Right.
So that's always one of the questions. And then that's we kind of start like that, but then we will talk about the story and why they came to Asia and just there's a lot of cool things. So I enjoy it a lot. But I try to. The common thing is Taiwan, but I know that if I know I could get more views if I did some other more popular things, but I still have to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like go and just try chou tofu again. It's like every day eat chou tofu.
Yeah.
That's not really what I want to do. Yeah.
But speaking of podcasts, did you have any like difficulty during this time? And because you have to interview these kind of people on your show, right? When you invite people here, do you face any problem or challenge you have?
Yeah,
like
for sure, definitely. Sometimes people, they don't realize how serious you take the podcast, so they just cancel like the day before or an hour before.
Wow.
And I'm like, I already got all my shit set up.
Yeah.
Like I've already got all my questions. I already prepped for like the whole day.
Yeah.
And then they will cancel. So that's tough. And then some people are too shy, which is okay, but I always over prepare topics. And some people just have like one word answer.
Wow.
Like, hey, why did you come to Taiwan? Oh, I like it.
That's
That's it.
tell.
And I'm just like, okay. And what did you like about it? Oh,
the food.
And what else? Oh, weather. It's too hot, but
It's okay.
Pretty good. And then you're like looking at the clock, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And you finish like your 15 or 20 topics in like 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's tough. And so for me, what I always do is I always bring up pictures.
Oh.
So I'll do the research and I will get pictures.
Yeah.
And then when the conversation starts to die, I'll be like, boom, I'll hit one of the pictures on here. I still have the pictures of the last podcast I did. I'll load those up. And I'm like, hey, why don't you tell me about this? And they're like, oh, yeah, that was a great gig. We went down to, this guy was saying, we went down to the basement and we went down to the wall.
Yeah.
We did this and the crowd. And then they'll tell me a story.
Yeah.
But if I just ask them, they'll just be like, yeah. Not this particular guy, but many other people, yeah.
Yeah.
The last guy I had was really good. But yeah, so slowly I try to filter those like out and then, because it's hard for me because like I said, I do it live and it's hard for me to make something interesting if the person is I don't want to say they're boring, but if they just give one word answers, it's really hard for me to be like, hey, it's tough. Like it's trying to hustle to make this guy talk, but the guy just doesn't want to talk. Yeah, and I also had I remember we did I don't know if I should say this, but we did usually when people suggest somebody, then that ends up being a bad one.
Oh, really?
But so they suggested this group that was doing like a charity ride.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh great, I love charity. Let's do charity.
Shit.
So I had them on, and they were doing like this bicycle ride for I can never remember it. LG. LGBTQ, whatever.
LGBT.
Like the gay pride stuff.
LGBT.
Like, yeah, LGBTQ,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
I always forget. Sorry, but yeah. So I'm like, yeah, let's do one. And a lot of the topics that I had, they were just not really kind of. And then they would talk to each other, kind of. And then you cannot hear anything. And I'm like, okay, I can't hear. I'm like, you guys are talking to the mic, which is another thing. But then like I'll be like, tell people how they can find you guys. What's the best way to support, this cause, this ride?
Right.
And they would just say, just give us cash.
Wow.
And I'm like,
It's very embarrassing.
Okay, cool. So just give cash. Like, what else can I say? I really.
Right.
So there was a couple where I was like a bit shocked, and I really didn't know what to say. And again, it wasn't bad, but it was hard for me because I was like, I'm very trying to be careful to not say something wrong.
Yeah.
And then so it was tough. But yeah, usually people will be honored that you will ask them to come and do a podcast. Like you probably found that too, right?
Yeah.
People are like, what? You want to interview me? I'm boring. I'm like, no, you've got a great story. Let's do it. So usually people are they're happy to do it. Once in a while they don't, but yeah, usually it's good. I like it. But yeah, there are some. If you go through the library of like 250, there's a few in there that were definitely hard for me to do. Yeah.
But because for me and for you, it's not like, because for me, I'm studying journalism when I go to college. But for you, how do you find your rhythm when you host a podcast? Because you're not like very good at the beginning, right? But you have to learn like in the process gradually and find your own rhythm when you host a podcast.
I think having to have a restaurant has helped a lot, because in the restaurant, sometimes you have to talk to people you don't even really want to talk to. Because they're eating, but they're loud, and maybe they're being rude, and they're just kind of like. But I still have to go and talk to them, and I still have to be polite. So and sometimes people will come, and they'll sit at the bar, and they'll chat with you, but they're just like, maybe they're like rich, and they'll say like really like rude, not towards me, but like super racist things they'll say, and it's like say racist things about. Like maybe black people or Taiwanese people or Chinese people. And I have to sit there, and then I'm just like, okay. How's the beer? Beer's good? Okay. So it's not, so there's some bad conversations you have to kind of be a part of, but that makes it a lot easier to do something like this, because this is fun, and usually I'll find a topic that I like and I will want to share. So, but it is hard at the beginning, but you slowly, like the first ones were pretty bad, and then you slowly kind of learn how to get better, and then you make topics and you prepare a little bit better, and then eventually it becomes quite easy. Not easy, but pretty easy, I'd say. Yeah.
How many years you doing podcast? 2-3 years?
I think almost 5.
Oh, 5 years.
Yeah, so it's been 245 weeks in a row. How's your? I don't know how many weeks are in a year. 50, 56,
52.
52, there you
Probably,
go.
yeah.
So, I don't know, man. My math is so bad. But I think it's 4.5 maybe.
Wow.
Between 4.5 and 5. So every week, once a week. So I try to schedule in advance, and that's why when someone cancels, it's tough, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to try to get. Oh, can you come this? Oh, I already. Can you move from this week to that week, and then I got to find someone else. But it does work out sometimes. Like a few weeks ago, someone canceled, and. I had my daughter on like years ago, and she wanted to do it again. And I said, okay, well, I'm booked up, but when we have a chance, we'll do it, or we'll do a Saturday or something. And I said, you're up. Let's go.
Okay.
And so we did one, and it was really good, and people liked it. And so I thought, well, this is a pretty good dynamic. So we're going to go do some more, like we went to Miaoli. We're going to do some travel foodie blog things with her, because people are always interested in like the mixed kids stuff. So I thought, let's try some of that. So it was good. We did some of those videos this weekend, and it was we haven't released them yet, but yeah.
Okay.
So we'll add some of that stuff for sure.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
But during this 5-year experience when you do podcasts, did you learn any like different perspective when you're trying to ask this kind of interviewer, like the people, in terms of their stories or in terms of their personal characters? Do you find out like new stuff?
Yeah, so one of the things that I found out was how similar, like similar many things are. Like, for example, my restaurant, you know, you have your restaurant story of, you know, kind of grinding at the beginning, and then you have to learn marketing, and you have to learn management, you have to learn leadership and how to delegate. But then you interview like a huge YouTuber, and they come on, and then they tell you the exact same story of like they started, they didn't know anything, and then they had to outsource this and do that, and then they have to like have an accountant, and they have to do all that stuff. And then you interview another like business owner that's not a restaurant, and they tell you the story, and it's like, oh, it's the same story. And then you meet a podcaster, like, well, it's almost the same thing. Like, it all seems to be like a business. You have to, if you want to treat it like a business, it has to be a business. If you want it to be a business, you have to treat it kind of like a business. So you have to kind of like make time for it, make sure it's growing, you know, always be learning. You know, like I recently bought like a YouTube Shorts course, and just kind of like, you know, the first 3 to 5 seconds is a hook, and then you got to have all this stuff. They give you all these examples, and I'm like, oh yeah, well that is true, because those are all the ones that I watch. At the beginning, it's like, hey, I'm gonna have this chocolate bar, and I'm gonna eat it in 2 minutes. Like, I'm not gonna do that, but you see all that stuff and stuff that you didn't really click on before you kind of learned the course. So it's pretty cool. A lot of similarities in different industries, I think, is what I would say that I learned, and better for sure, better communication skills with me. Like, I can sit and talk for like an hour about like nothing, and I have to sometimes, because people just give like one-word answers sometimes, and then I just have to be like, oh my gosh, you start sweating, like, okay, well, let me tell you a story. This is what happened to me, and blah blah blah, and you start talking. And it's almost like bullshitting a little bit, just to kind of fill up like, you know, until the next question. So yeah, I learned a lot of skills, and I found a lot of similarities. You know, like when I had the CFO of Gogoro on, and we were talking, and a lot of the same issues and the same problems, or somebody who went to go work at ASUS does like a human resources, you find the same issues. Everything's always seems to be, it's funny how all these different industries kind of have the same issue.
Kind of connect to
it's all connected.
In between. Did anyone's story like really impressed you, like a lot, still remember till this day, and like you can learn a lot from him or her?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to think about that one for a sec. But there's been a lot of really good ones. I remember I interviewed Taiwan's first professional women's MMA fighter. Okay. And she actually fought for the title in ONE FC. Her name is Jenny Huang, and she came here. Like, so I was at UFC gym with one of the guys who worked there, because she was training, and I wanted to. I like MMA, so I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, he's like, I'll introduce to her after she's finished. So I'm sitting there, and so I went to meet her, and she was just this, you know, this tiny girl. She's just, you know, sweet. She's just kind of in her workout gear, glasses and stuff. And so I invited her, and she's like, okay, cool, yeah, it'll be sure, let's do it. And then when she came here, she was all dressed up, and she got her hair done, and she took it like super seriously. So then I'm like, and it was in Chinese, right? Okay. So I was a bit nervous, because she's really taking it seriously. She brought all her awards and stuff. And it was great. And then she's sitting there, and I'm just kind of like, okay, give me a sec. I'm a little bit nervous, just, you know, because my Chinese is decent, but it's still never going to be like my English, right? For sure. Like, English, I can just talk all day. Yeah. And so, and then she's like, it's okay, because I'm actually really nervous too. And I'm like, you're nervous? And I'm like shocked, because she's nervous, but she fights in a cage, you know, and I'm like, and she's nervous of this thing, like, this is crazy, right? And we're doing it in Chinese, right? So I thought, that was a cool story. There's been so many good ones, man. I like some of I like the BJJ ones. I like the health ones. Like, I had a guy recently talking about an all meat diet, and it's interesting. It's interesting because I tried it once before, and it was pretty hard to get through. But he said, you know, after a couple of weeks, your body adjusts, and then your body just uses your fat, and then you become all ripped and stuff. And I'm just like, well, so maybe I'll try it again. That was interesting. I remember one guy, this Brazilian guy, who was teaching at UFC gym, and he went back to open a school in Brazil. Okay. And he said, you know, one of the things was, he said, you know, BJJ, and he said it in his Brazilian accent, so it was amazing, right? And he's like, oh, you know, BJJ is a lot like life. You know, sometimes in life, you know, you're gonna get knocked down, you're gonna be upside down, you know, and in BJJ you get knocked down. You know, people pin you upside down, they're bending you, they're twisting you, but you gotta have to slow down, slow your breath, you know, take a breath. and then you got to figure out, step by step how to get back to your feet. And I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. And he just told me this whole, about a minute. It was just like, whoa. It was really mind-blowing because I thought, wow, BJJ is a lot like life, he said. And he just told me this whole thing. And I thought, wow, unbelievable. It's like, whoa, feels like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Wow.
Like, wow, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
It's going to be a nice one.
Yeah, yeah, it was a beautiful one. Yeah.
But during this process,
Yeah.
did you find anything like you wanted to do it in the future during this like conversation with other people? Do you have found out your like future topic that you wanted to do?
Yeah, like for me, I actually I want to do some of this stuff outside. Now, I start to do some food stuff outside, which I like to do. I also like to travel a little bit.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of business owners that are Taiwanese and foreigner, and they live in like Taichung or Kaohsiung or something. And I really love their stories. So we got, maybe not quite like this, but we got kind of like more of a portable setup. And we're able to travel, and we get to go out, and I've done some of those, and I want to do a lot more. This summer, I want to do a bunch of those with a bunch of food stuff.
Okay.
But also, like, because I like MMA and, all that stuff so much, because of the podcast, I get invited now to do the English commentary for the MMA fights in Taiwan, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
And then because I got invited for that, then I got invited to do the English commentary for boxing.
Wow.
So I got to go be the commentary for boxing, which is amazing. And then because of that, there was a sub-only no-gi sort of jiu-jitsu tournament.
Okay.
And, they're like, hey, we would love to do, this. And so I went and I did the commentary for that.
Wow.
It's really cool. All this stuff came because I just started a podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be nice.
It's like, I bet you keep going and you'll end up commentating the basketball.
Wow. Yeah,
Why not? Yeah,
so,
for sure. They were looking for English a long time, a couple years ago, I said, before I knew you. And they were like, hey, do you want to do it? I'm like, I don't know anything about that. I would love to do it, but I don't feel confident in my skills for basketball. I don't know much about it.
So somebody just approached you?
People posted, and they were like, hey, you know what? We're looking for English. And I sent a few people there to check it out, and some guys got it. And I think they still do it. But yeah, like for the MMA stuff, for sure. Soccer, I've been coaching soccer since I was a kid.
Yeah.
For these two, I can do with my eyes closed. But for basketball, then I did play as a kid, but then I have to go back and remember, and I have to study,
especially in Taiwan, you have to know about the players.
Yeah, I didn't know all the players. I need to restudy everything. And then it's a lot of work again. But for the other two, soccer and MMA, I watched that already, and I love it. And I don't know everything, but yeah, it's something that I'm always passionate about, that I'm watching anyway. So for that, it's quite easy for me.
So how's the commentator job so far right now? It's pretty good, right?
It's like the dream job, man. I love it. I love it. You get to go in there, and it's cool because it's a lot like, it's funny. Again, it's just like this, but we have like a monitor here.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be controlling anything. I just got to talk.
Yeah.
And I got my monitor here, and we have the live fights there. And, people are coming out, and you have their stats, and you're reading off their stats, and you're saying, oh, you do a bit of research. Oh, this guy has beef with that guy. Then you're talking. It's really fun, man. It's actually like that, probably the dream job.
Wow.
That or actually being in the ring and doing the ring announcer. That's probably the ultimate dream job. So I actually met the Taiwanese guy who does all that. I actually had him on the podcast. So yeah. And it's cool because I met him, and then I'm like, man, you got to come to my podcast. And he came. It was good. It was a good one, man.
But how often you gonna do that? The commentator stuff?
It's not that often. It's not that. So there, I mean, you get paid and stuff, but it's there's not that many events.
It's like a
Taiwan
side
is
job.
small. Taiwan is small, and the MMA is like twice a year.
Only twice a year?
Yeah,
Oh,
twice
okay.
a year. The boxing, it's only been a couple times. The BJJ one was just once, and yeah, because a lot of them are not big sports yet, so there's not too much budget. But again, like a lot of them, I do them for free because I like it,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But speaking of sports in Taiwan, like except for MMA or except for boxing, how do you see Taiwan as a country, like managed sports industry?
So I coached here for a long time, and I found that it seems pretty corrupt, the top level. Like the CTFA, I don't know if I should say that. I'm not coaching anymore.
Sure.
But like when I came here, before I came, I emailed and stuff for like CTFA, the Chinese Taipei Soccer, and Football Association, and I was like, I will be there. I will be teaching, and I would love to run some courses and stuff. And they were like, yeah, I got to respond. I don't know if I have the email still, but it's like, yeah, it'd be cool. Come and do it. Yeah, it's cool. And then when I got here and I called them, and they're like, what? Who the hell is this guy? You know? So then that's when I opened my own school, right? And then that was okay. But when I tried to do something, and then you connect with the big associations, it's mostly like older guys that they're like, no, I just collect salary. I don't care.
Okay.
So that was my experience. I think I heard it was a little bit different now, but I also know people that are still doing that now, and it's still the same response. When I first came here, I think my second year in Taiwan, futsal is 5 versus 5 soccer.
Okay.
It's like basketball on a basketball court almost. And the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup was in Taiwan.
Okay.
Right? Nobody knows because they didn't do any marketing, right?
Yeah.
So the FIFA World Cup was here, and FIFA I can't remember the numbers, but I believe it was about $3 million US to promote it. Nobody knows. Nobody knew.
Right.
So when I went, it was nobody except me and my kids there, my soccer kids. And it was great. Like Brazil, Bolivia, Spain, all these teams were here. Some of the amazing players were here.
Right.
And they were looking for volunteers. And I told them, it's a month, but I can volunteer for free. I would love to do it. I speak, my Chinese was not great, but I speak English and Spanish. So it's Brazil, Spain,
you can always talk
Mexico,
Spanish.
Bolivia, Chile, right? Almost they all speak Spanish. And Brazil, even though it's Portuguese, it's pretty close still, right? And so, we go to do that. And then I put my application. They're like, yeah, just fill this out or something. And then they said, they rejected me. They said, you have to volunteer for 1 month. And I said, I can't because I have to make money. I need to live. Right? I can't just close my job for a month. Yeah. And then I just said, okay, then no. Right. So I got rejected to do free work for the FIFA World Cup.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's weird. And then when I went to Ximending for dinner or something, I saw the Brazilian team with their Brazil, outfits, walking around completely lost.
Okay.
No tour guide. Nobody speaks their language. So I go to talk to them, right? And then I was like, they're like, thank you guys. So I helped them out. Chile, same thing. Bolivia, same thing. They're all just lost in Ximending.
Okay.
They don't know where to go. They don't know where their hotel is. They don't know what to eat, right? And there's nobody helping them. And I was like, I was going to do this for free, right? Like, but I got rejected because they're like, no, you have to do 1 month. And I said, but I can't work for a month for free and I have no income. Then I can't pay my rent.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Sure.
And I was like 23. I didn't have like a bunch of money saved up, right? So yeah, so I think a lot of it, I think it's getting better, but there's a lot of bad experiences in that. But I always think that there's basketball. Why is there 2 leagues? like when I heard that Jeremy Lin was coming and Dwight Howard was here, I thought, wow, that's great, because then when they play, I bet you they will fill up Taipei Arena. They can fill it up with these 2 guys. Right. And then I think it might have been you or somebody that told me, oh no, they play different leagues.
It's me.
And I'm like, different leagues? What do you mean different leagues? Like, yeah, there's 2 leagues. There's a T league and there's a P league. Yeah. I'm like, why is there 2 leagues? They don't play each other? Like, no. What? Why not? Why? So I think there's always like somebody somewhere who's, I don't know, who's, I don't know what it is, but they cannot maybe work together. Maybe the top guys need to kind of get along better.
Sit down and just talk.
Sit down and fix it, man. Yeah. Because, like baseball, huge in Taiwan. Right. When I came here, there was like 20 teams. And then there was all this corruption and all this crazy thing and gambling or something. Yeah. And now there's like 5 teams. Now it's slowly growing again. But slowly. It's going to take a long time to get back to 20 teams, right? Yeah. So it's sad. When I came here, I remember they used to always bring people from the States, they would bring like, I don't really watch baseball, but they would bring like a big, baseball guy to come here for 1 year and the stadium's full. Yeah. Same thing they did with Dwight Howard, right? And it works. Taiwanese people, they love it.
Right.
And everybody loves. Everybody
Right.
wants to go see Dwight
For
Howard.
sure,
Of
for sure.
course.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see Jeremy Lin, right? So I think they do well, but then it's always like somebody in the top. I don't know if they want to take the credit or they want to say, "Oh, this is my idea, not yours." I don't know what it is, but in the end, it just falls apart. And then I don't know. That's my experience. I've been here I'm 45, so I've been here for like 21,
22 years.
So it's almost half my life, right? So I feel that I can say that.
You've seen a lot.
It's like
You've seen
half
a
my
lot.
life, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I live here. My adult life is more in Taiwan than Canada.
Oh, okay.
Like I came here when I was like 22 or 23 or something. And so my adult life was all Taiwan, really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and then I coached here, I taught here, I did a lot of stuff here. So I feel, I think I can say that. Yeah. Yeah.
But what's the next plan for the restaurant? Do you think about to open another one branch?
So actually, I want to. So one of the tough things is right now it's hard to find staff. Like it's
Really?
hard to find.
Why?
It's really hard because the restaurant it's a lot of work, and then I think in Taiwan, people don't really look up to the service industry. If you're the owner, then people are like, oh, 老板, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like a
Waiters,
waiter or a cook in the back, people don't really look up to that so much.
That's
It's
the
kind of
point.
looked down,
That's
right?
the point. Yeah.
So for somebody to, even if you pay well, most of the people here, this is, again, 15 years or 16 years experience with restaurant. Most people will take the office job or the bank job that pays, 28 a month. Instead of the restaurant will pay, 30, 35, 40, whatever. They will still take the 28 because they have the office,
The
and
impression,
9 to 5, and they can wear the suit. People will still take that. So it's hard. So we have a lot of people from all different countries. We have like a super multicultural team right now. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. But yeah, the toughest part I think is you want to
hire
open another
somebody.
place just to find a crew.
But
Stuff.
I thought there's some kind of school. They have this kind of like cooking specialty or
They do, but they start at like the hotels and then the 5-star restaurants.
okay.
And then we're just the one Mexican restaurant, so we're like low on the list. So by the time it gets here, everybody needs people. So like the hotels and this, they take everybody, and then so there's no rollout.
I don't
man.
think hotel crew is gonna be like high.
It's not good,
social
man.
standard. Or,
People think that if they want to work at like, I don't know, what's a big hotel like the Hyatt. They
Hyatt.
will say, "Oh, I'll
or-
go to the Hyatt instead of Eddie's Cantina."
like
right?
all these chains.
Yeah, I can go to the Hyatt, right? So they will think, well, I work at the Hyatt. So that's it's tough.
That
Yeah.
makes
So right
sense.
now we have a couple of connections with schools that have international students. So that's pretty good. So if we can really sort that out, then we will do more. I have an idea to do some really more small, like express version of this and put it in maybe the nicer shopping malls, I think. I have a couple of ideas for that. But at the end of the day, I still need people, right? Yeah, with one central kitchen, I have enough people now for this, barely. So if I open a shop or a central kitchen, I need more. Yeah, like for example, we make our own tortillas, right? Like flour and corn.
Right.
And we maybe 5 years ago we went to Nangang Exhibition Hall, and we set up a booth, and we were selling our tortillas, and they're all homemade, handmade, right? But flour tortilla is really good.
Yeah.
And people tried them, and they love it, and they said this is much better than. You need some water or something? Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So they love it, and we got like a lot of B2B customer, a lot of B2C customer. But at the end of the day, we still have to make them. Like there's not a machine you can just touch it and it's going to make it.
Yeah.
We still need some people. Still need people to make them. And so, yeah, that seems to be one of the issues. And it's not just us. I know so many restaurant owners, and it's the same. Yeah, it's tough.
You gotta bathroom.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing for sure. Go do your thing. Joe, can you grab a couple glasses of water? Joe, can you grab some water? 2 waters, please. Do your thing, man. All good. Water. 2 glasses of water, please. Thank you. Should be. Let's go. Go to the bathroom quick. What time is it? 4? Oh, it's 4 already. Shoot. All right. Nice. Huh? Yeah, you can go. It's all good. Maybe can you take a couple before you go while we're talking? Can you, Joe? Take a couple before you go, just of us talking. Take a couple of pictures before you go, just us talking. Yeah? What do you think? You can ask him if he wants another one. I'm good. It's my second coffee of the day. All good, dude?
Yeah, good.
All right.
Yeah, so we're talking about you're gonna find some people
Yeah.
for like doing restaurant, right? But do you have to like teach them from the beginning?
Yeah, usually. So usually I have to train them from the beginning. But like I said earlier, we have a pretty good crew right now, so they can teach them, and then I will come to help. So we've got a good team right now. So it really depends on who we have at the time, but we can teach them in, get the people to come in, and they can teach quickly. But yeah, like it really depends on like if I open a central kitchen and then I start to. There's other restaurants that want our tortillas and they want our tacos, or they want.
Okay.
But we can keep up here. But if it's busy here, then we can't keep up with here and more restaurants. So we need another kitchen. But then I have to rent a kitchen and put all this stuff there. And then if I can't find anyone to do it, it's hard. So it's kind of like you have to really. It's not the risk. You have to just risk it and go for it. So we'll do that. Hopefully we can. Like I said, the food cost is high right now, so hopefully we can save up a little bit, and then we'll probably take another shot at it. I think it's good. I think people like the food, and I think potential is high. So yeah, after a long time of doing it, I know a lot of. I mean, I don't know everything, but I know a lot of things that work here and stuff that doesn't work. So sometimes I will see a new place doing something. And I'm like, oh, I tried that. That doesn't work. And then I will see like 2 months later, I'm like, oh, that didn't work. Yeah, well, because, you have to just try, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just got to try it.
So next section will be a little bit Chinese.
No, it's okay. 没有关系，
Yeah, 很多人
Chinese, yeah.
Yeah, 因为我之前有做了一些国外的一些 interview， 但是很多人都听不懂，所以
OK 没有关系 OK
对，所以
中文 OK
可以大概跟大家讲一下，就是为什么当初来台湾，然后后来开了餐厅。
就是因为我刚来台湾的时候，因为我想要，因为加拿大是一个很漂亮的国家，可是那个时间我就想可能去别的地方，我一直想来亚洲，可是我不晓得要去哪里。然后那个时间我可以选韩国、日本、台湾或中国大陆 ，right？可是那个时间，我觉得我怎么讲？大陆是有一点 ，I don't know， 有一点不安全的感觉。那个是20年前
，OK，
所以我不知道怎么去。然后我觉得日本跟韩国不错，可是那边因为加拿大下雪很多，可是去那边他们也有下雪，然后我从小时候就。一直看到下雪，我不想要看到下雪，所以我觉得台湾
会怕冷吗？还是你就是不想要下雪而已？
就是因为我家是靠近阿拉斯加，所以
这么很北边
很多，对，下雪很多，所以我觉得来这边你可以看到这个国家有下雪，这个有更多下雪，这个小的 island， 这有点像一个 tropical island， 一直热就。天气好，我觉得热不错。
哦，你比较喜欢热？
比较喜欢热，对，所以我觉得 OK， 我们先来这边看看。然后我觉得台湾，后来觉得这边的人就是一个都很好，就对外国人非常好。然后我有去过日本好像也 OK， 不错。听说是有点假的，听说很多人说他们对你好，可是在你后面他们会。讲话听说我不知道，可是韩国直接在你的对里面face to face
面对就是
面对，他们还是
不太好，
不太
友善，
对，就有一点 not very friendly，不知道怎么讲，对，所以可是我觉得台湾人都是蛮好的，然后我觉得我先来这边看，可能1-2年在这里，我觉得后来2年过了，我觉得这边其实蛮好的，是
可以住在这里，
不想回加拿大，不想回家，yeah，所以我觉得台湾是一个蛮好的地方，
但那时候决定要住在这里的时候，在加拿大的那边的你的 parents 有很担心说想要你回去吗？还是
他们想要我回去？可是我有跟他们讲，如果我搬回去，那个时间我的小小的 town 叫 Kitimat，没什么工作，所以如果我要回去，我可能要搬到温哥华
Vancouver，
然后我觉得不是说温哥华坏话，可是我觉得我不太喜欢，我觉得台北比温哥华好很多。
怎么说嘞？
就是一样很方便，天气比较好，安全，然后人比较好，我觉得什么都比较好，所以我觉得去温哥华不是不好，可是我没有
就是跟这里比起来，
对，没有这么喜欢。可是到台北，我觉得台北的当然不是100分，没有地方有这么高，可是我觉得快100分，可能90分、95分，我觉得人还有方便，还有食物，还有其实什么都有，天气不错，我觉得都蛮好的。我觉得台北是一个非常好的地方。我一直说是一个台湾是亚洲的 hidden gem。因为没有很多人知道台北这么好，台湾这么好，就慢慢来可是没有很多人知道。我去加拿大，他们都说：“哎，你不是不怕大陆吗？”我说：“可是我觉得来这边，我觉得我没有
感觉到，
没有感觉那个危险。我们住在这里，人很好，
很方便，
很方便呢。其实我没有去过这么方便的地方。你要去，可能你要pay your bills，就去 Seven， 就什么都可以付了，就可以付了。
对，
然后可以买个咖啡，买个什么
食物
饭团，就在那边
便当都有。
我觉得，然后回加拿大，你可能要去一个 Costco 好市多。你可能要开1-2个小时，然后去那边，然后开1-2个小时回来。然后在台湾，我也没有车，因为我觉得台北不需要车。
对，就是有大众 transportation，
什么都有，捷运还有
公车，
还有 line taxi、Uber，很方便。
对。
所以我觉得我来这边，对我45岁，然后我没有 own 一个车。
没有买
过一个车，所以我觉得我不需要啊，我觉得不用 ，I will go forever， no 车，不用。
但是就是我们快转 fast forward to， 就是到，因为来台湾到你开餐厅中间有一些时间嘛，那教英文教 soccer， 那当初为什么会有一个 idea 说，我想要开一个 restaurant， 或者是从一个 stop 开始 stand 开始？
就是因为我刚结婚。然后我那个时间我还在教足球，然后我老婆是教英文，然后我刚刚用英文讲过，我是中文，如果你是一个外国人，然后你去教英文，是一个蛮简单的工作，
就是只要说教英文就好。
你去那边，你是一个外国人，所以每个人都开心哦，你有一个美式还是加拿大的accent， 然后每个人会很开心，所以你去那边，然后你的 expectation 不是很高，你就是去教英文很简单，可是那个时间我老婆也是英文老师，可是她是一个台湾人的英文老师，然后她英文很好，可是她怎么讲？
就是要做别的很多事情，
对，有很多事情他们都丢很多叫免费事情给她弄，然后就薪水低很多。然后事情很多，所以对我们外国人来讲是一个蛮简单的，可是对台湾人来讲不太公平，所以他不开心，不太开心，
是，
所以他的 dream I forgot
他的梦想，
他的梦想是开一个咖啡厅，
是，
然后我觉得因为我觉得台北很多咖啡厅，可是我觉得你有吃过我家人的食物，所以我觉得我们可以从一个小小的 摊位开一个，可能卖一些墨西哥的食物，然后他有愿意做，他说 OK， 我们可以试。然后从那个到这边，那个大概15、16年前，可是我觉得那个时间是一个 ，I don't know， 这是一个我们年轻，我觉得我们试看看，如果做不到就做不到，就我们就赔一点，10万块还是20万块，就赔那个，然后就回去上班，教英文就没问题。英文有点像一个。
try 就是
safety net， 懂我意思？中文不知道怎么讲，safety net， 我们就从这边 fail 就没问题，我们就回去。
就是在一个安全的范围里面，
对，安全，
不会有太大的 loss。
对，我们就
不会说就是去然后失败就都没有钱。
对，不是像如果我从这个地方开，这边好几百万，那么就赔好几百万，就是 fuck we're screwed。可是不好意思，可是
那时候就还 OK，
那时候还好。然后我们那个时候，我们大概28、29岁，所以觉得可以试看看，没有就没有。可是如果我们没有试，我们应该会一直想应该这样，应该要这样。到30岁、40岁，我们应该50岁应该这样。可是对我觉得我们做的不错，没有赚很多钱。其实到 COVID， 我觉得我们的生意蛮好的，不错。可是 COVID 来以后就没有这么好。然后现在还不错，还可以。
那到哪一个时间点，你们开始决定你们要 100% 投入在这个 business， 就是辞掉英文的工作，然后 100% 在这个 business 上面？
其实刚开始我还有教英文，还有教足球，然后生意还 OK， 可是我们就没有赚钱。可是我觉得有一天我想要，不知道怎么讲，我决定，如果我 let's just go for it， 就100分，我们就怎么讲，立志我们的工作，right， 我们就100% 100分，我们都在餐厅里面，
对，
一定要做好 sink or swim，OK， 这样从那个时间生意有进步很多了，好像是一个 mindset， 然后我们就每一个人进来，我们就一定给他们一个5颗星的感觉，就是
best service，always
give them good service，good food，服务好，食物好，饮料好，从那个时间我们就进步很多了。对，好像是一个 mindset， 我觉得 OK，sink or swim， 我们一定要
投入
一定要这样。
但是那是是一个 tough decision 嘛？就是对你来说，就是你会觉得这是一个 risk， 就是你要 give up 你的工作，然后你全心投入在 restaurant， 但是你会不会有一个担心说，那我 give up， 因为 English teacher 有不错的薪水，
对，不错。
但是如果你 give up， 那你会不会担心这边如果真的 fail 怎么办？那是不是就没有钱，就没有 income？
对，其实有这个
会挣扎吗？
我们真的很有担心，可是拿到一个英文老师的工作是还 OK， 不是这么难，然后可是我觉得对，有一段时间我们就赔一点钱，然后就没有赚钱，然后比如说我可能我弟毕业，还是我最好的朋友加拿大的朋友，他要结婚，可是那一段时间我们没钱，每个人都说你是老板，你是当老板应该很好玩，可是可能10年没钱，
哇，这么久，
很久，
哇，
这没钱
是，
可是所以我没办法回家，什么都没办法，
是，
所以没办法去，没办法休息，什么都没办法，所以
就在 struggle，
很久，其实现在 OK， 可是还是没有很多钱，不是很有钱，可是我觉得每一年我都是觉得一定要进步，我们会进步，所以就慢慢进步到可以做的，我觉得。可是我觉得对，真的是，对，很多人可能毕业、结婚，我都没有去，因为没钱所以在那个时间有一次，我自己一个人回家，因为第一没钱，没办法3个人去。
是。
可是我就是 快疯掉，一定要看到我家人，可能5、6年没有看到我妈、爸妈，然后我觉得我一定要去。其实那个时间我睡觉的时候，我发现我在加拿大小时候，然后我起床都是 tears
啊，都是眼泪啊，
眼泪，我就 what the hell what's going on？ 所以从那个时间，我跟我老婆讲，我
You have to go.
回家1个月，因为我真的很想念我家人，所以从那个时间回来，我觉得 OK，we have to 一定要做得好，对对。可是真的是一个有点吓到，我说 Holy what the hell's going on？
Yeah，
我疯掉吗？What's going on here？ Yeah。
因为其实我当初看到 Eddy 的 restaurant 的时候，我就很佩服啊，就是因为一个外国人在台湾，然后你要让你的 business。我觉得这是非常不容易，真的是很厉害。
谢谢，我觉得我其实对，
因为其实台湾人如果要创业，其实本来就已经很难，你要有你的 foundation， 你要有你的资金，你要有你的人脉，你要做很多事情，更不用说开餐厅，因为很多餐厅嘛。但是一个外国人，对，又要再来台湾做这么久，然后但是都没有放弃，我觉得这是很 impressive 的地方。
我觉得对，其实开餐厅。有很多人放弃是因为好像第1年就是很累，然后可能没有
什么钱，对，
你就是可能每天10几个小时都在上班，1个礼拜7天都在上班，
对，
然后没钱，
是
可能赔钱，
是啊，
所以可能餐厅 statistics 第1年可能70%还是80%就没有了，然后。后来5年也差不多都结束了
90%，
真是因为没办法，就很累，是因为不知道怎么讲，是 the work to the reward is 大概是这样，工作是这样，然后赚的钱是这样，然后没有不简单，1年、2年、3年、4年、5年，可能10年到这边
才会慢慢 balance，
就慢慢 balance， 可是。我觉得，因为我们那个时间你比较年轻，我觉得我们可以试看看。可是如果我可能
如果你
40
岁才开始，可能就哇，
没办法，我觉得。所以我觉得，就是年轻的时候一定要试看看，
就是在一个时间对的时候去 try。
老时候也是可以，可是我觉得那种我45岁，然后我们开了大概16、17年，我觉得蛮不错的。可是也是。没有赚很多钱，就是不错。可是我可以做一些 podcast 的东西，就是我很开心。是，我蛮喜欢。
因为讲到 podcast， 就是也是因为我跟 Ted 这个 Eddy 认识的一个算是契机啦，就是一个缘分。那当初为什么？就是当然节目有讲到说你很喜欢 Joe Rogan， 然后很喜欢听、很喜欢看 podcast， 但是。怎么会让你想要？因为很多人，比如说喜欢看 NBA， 然后很喜欢看 MMA， 但是他们只是喜欢看，他们不一定会去真的去做这个运动。但是你为什么喜欢看了、喜欢听了这个 podcast 之后，会有一个想法说，那我来 try， 我来主持一个节目？
就是因为刚好我们有关掉我们的分店，然后其实我一直有这个 idea， 可是我因为。其实没有很多人知道，是我比较内向，我比较害羞。
是，
可是我觉得，所以我自己觉得我做不到。可是我很喜欢看叫 Joe Rogan， 然后我觉得其实我跟客人聊天，他们都分享很多非常好的故事，对。我觉得如果我可以分享这个感觉给每一个人，我觉得。做得不错，所以我有学到怎么做，我有看到 Joe Rogan， 看到一些别的 podcast， 然后我觉得这个怎么做，然后其实我们都是做 live， 是因为 Joe Rogan 做 live， 然后我以为每一个人做 live， 可是没有人做 live， 就我们的，可是对，后来我有进步，就慢慢进步，从朋友开始，从客人开始，后来看到一些。我看到，应该就是我们在做这个，没有别人外国人在做。
对。
然后来看到在 YouTube 就找不到一些，可是我有找到可能 Lucas in Taiwan， 我看到他很厉害，然后他的 subscriber 很高，所以我有传一个简讯给他，可是我以为他不会回我，可是他就马上回我，他说好啊，我有看到你的，好，如果你 你 OK， 我上你的，我觉得我 really 好，非常好。
Yeah，
可是所以我觉得这边的外国 YouTuber，他们都是蛮好的。我觉得我不晓得台湾的，我有认识一些台湾的，也是对我好，然后我也是对他们好。可是这边的，我觉得外国 YouTuber 他们都不知道为什么，可是有点像一个 community 觉得哇，他们都是蛮好的，就因为他们的 channel 可能10万、20万，50万很多，可是他们都愿意来跟我聊天，分享他们的故事，我觉得哇，这个是一个蛮好的，然后我就也有上过他们的，我觉得这个是一个有帮我，然后我觉得
互相
帮忙，对，所以我觉得是这个应该是这样，对，其实我开餐厅，很多人就来这边问我一些问题，是因为他们可能想要来开餐厅。然后我也是分享你要这样，我可以帮你。你需要什么？是vegetable distributor 还是 meat distributor？什么都给你。
供应商对，
都给你。
哇哦！
所以就是没问题，因为刚开始你自己一个人没有这么简单。
是啊，
就是进步就很慢。可是如果很多人，然后你可能我做过很多错，然后就跟他们讲我做了这样是因为。我有做过这样子，然后很错 ，mistake， 所以不要这样做，不要这样，
少走弯路，
我就不要这样，所以就跳这个错，然后到另外一个 level， 所以我有帮忙过很多，然后很多 YouTuber 有帮忙过我，所以我觉得好像越来越多 podcast， 所以如果我看到一个 podcast， 我一定会说
，Let's do it.
Come to mine. Come to a podcast, please. Yeah. 所以我觉得 ，Yeah， 我其实我很喜欢。Yeah。
但是你在当主持并且 host 这个部分也是慢慢在做节目的时候学习的吗？
是因为我刚说的，我比较内向，所以我可能不知道怎么做。可是我觉得 ，You have to do it。然后我就知道我应该会。可是害羞，就说里面我的头里面会就说你不行，你没办法，有点像 imposter。可是我自己一个人来过这边，我自己一个人学过中文，我自己一个人照过餐厅，我自己一个人开过我的可能足球的 academy，都是我自己做的，所以我觉得这个我应该会，所以从比较简单的 interview 开始，像一些朋友之类，然后就从那边开始，我觉得
慢慢的，
慢慢来，慢慢进步。然后到现在，我觉得1个礼拜一次，我觉得我试看看 ，I will try 1个礼拜一次，我可以试1个礼拜一次 ，for a long time， 然后试看看，然后到现在大概有4年半左右，1个礼拜一次。然后如果我可能要挑1个礼拜，前那1个礼拜我会做2个还3个，我觉得一定要。如果没有，我就momentum 我很相信 momentum， 我觉得 momentum 是一个很重要的字。如果一直有这个 momentum，let's just keep it going。我的开餐厅我也是这样，我觉得just keep going，just keep going。有时候你在忙，然后你起来然后看到，我觉得 holy shit 好可怕，就 just 做你应该做的，然后就慢慢进步。每个 video 还是每个礼拜，还每年就1%，就觉得进步很多。就这样子，你一直做就是
对增加你自己的对啊。momentum 要怎么翻译？就是一个气势啊，一个对一个你可以去观察到你进步幅度的一个感觉。
Just keep going， 然后你有看到，其实我不知道是快5年，我听到5年，我觉得哇 ，That's crazy。可是刚开始。如果你跟我讲你会做到5年，每1个礼拜一次到5年，我会觉得不可能 ，That's impossible。对，5年这么强，可是就 just keep moving。所以我觉得 just move，just keep moving。
这个我很有感同身受啊，因为当初如果我做 podcast， 然后朋友跟我说哇，你之后可能会访问到一些 P League 的洋将啊、球员啊，或者是你可以做 live 的 podcast， 跟台湾最有名的这 comedian 一起做。我觉得我当初一定不会这么想，但是就像 Eddy 说的，就是你持续的走下去，然后建立那个 momentum， 一定会有一些机会的。那未来有什么一些 future plan， 就是不管在 restaurant 或者是在 podcast 上面，可以跟大家预告或者是跟大家说明。
其实我有一些餐厅的 idea， 我想要可能开一些分店，可是小小的、比较小的，然后可能放在百货公司小小的一个，可能
food court 里面啊，
有可能 food court， 还是有可能有一些不知道怎么讲，也可能比较高级的的百货公司，然后你去吃那边，有点像 food court， 可是不像 food court， 是一个蛮不错，
比较低层。
其实我觉得蛮酷 ，food court 也可以，
是。
可是我觉得东西好吃，
对，
然后饮料好吃，我觉得可以一直放在很多地方。我觉得因为没有一个好，可能 food court 之类没有一个好的西餐还是墨西哥餐，
是
你去个 food court 就当然都是亚洲的食物，
是，
可是没有一个很好的西餐的 Western food， 没有，所以我觉得 tacos 很适合
是
food court 那一些，
对，
所以没有一个这种的。可是我觉得我想要做这样，然后 podcast 我也想要做一些，因为我是一个开餐厅的，所以如果我有发现，如果我有介绍可能一别餐厅，很多人会觉得哦，他是一个 chef， 他是一个开餐厅的，所以如果他说这个地方是好。一定是好，所以我觉得，我也可以用那个。我觉得，所以我外国人就在台湾开餐厅，老婆是台湾人，所以我觉得，我们都做一些食物的东西。然后我们女儿，怎么讲，混血蛮可爱。然后很多人一直问她，你是英文比较强还是中文比较强？所以很多人问他很多问题。所以我觉得如果这一些我可以 package 在一个，不知道一定会跟 podcast 分开，可是放在一个可能 YouTube channel，然后 editing 那一些，我觉得如果可以做这个，我觉得第一，如果没有很有名，我还是有一些 video 可以看到我女儿，因为其实我女儿已经12岁。所以可能时间过很快，所以我们还是会有这个一些影片
就是可以，
因为
等于说
recording 就一些我女儿的。然后第二，我觉得很多人台湾人有点像墨西哥人有点 nosy， 他们很想知道 ，always want to know，right？ 墨西哥也是
真的吗？
很多墨西哥一模一样。所以如果我们可以分享这个，我觉得。其实对我们很好，也是对台湾很好。我蛮喜欢。然后对很多人就一直问，其实第一个问题是你休息时间，你要回家就练习一些新的食物吗？不可能，我要休息啊。可是对很多人就问我一些这种的问题。所以我觉得this is not bad。还有一个，我还有一个 idea，我有问过一些朋友，因为我们有餐厅。所以我想要做一个有点像 dating
show，
就可能我们就放在那边，然后可能 maybe first date 2个人，然后放一些麦克风，然后就分享他们的 first date，因为我们已经什么都有，然后我有问过一些人，他们就愿意做一些可能 pilot， 就一些可能我们先做一些 maybe 5-6个 episode。我们会这样做，所以我觉得这个一样，因为墨西哥人、台湾他们
很喜欢看这种，
所以觉得然后这个女生she's too good for this guy， 他太帅，那个女生不好看，所以一定会有这样子感觉。
对，
所以我们会这样做，因为我觉得做得到，因为现在这个我们已经都有 equipment 那些已经都有，所以
不管是 camera 或者 audio 都有，
所以我觉得我们可以试看看。
Sounds very interesting.
Like a dating show, yeah. So you're ready when you're ready to have a date, man. Yeah. 你没有结婚吧？ Not yet.
还没
Perfect.
但是这个
Episode 1. There you go. Let's go.
所以这个 project 这几个 project 是目前都有已经在 on schedule 吗？还是
dating one 还没，可是另外一个已经开始
那个 video 吗？还是
video 那一些？对对对。
OK。
可是因为我什么都做 live， 所以我 editing 没有很好，所以就慢慢进步这个。如果我 outsource 可以，可是我 editing 我也很想学。
OK。
如果因为有点像designing， 如果你给你的 idea 分享给一个 designer， 他不会做得到你想要100分。
对，当然。
所以，可是如果你自己学，可能 Canva 那一些，你自己你可以自己弄到你很想要100分。所以我觉得 editing 也是差不多这样，所以就慢慢每天就学一点点。对，可是现在 AI 有帮忙很多，所以好像没有这么难。
是啊，像 subtitle 的东西 AI 就可以。对，
其实现在我的YouTube Shorts 我都有用中文的 subtitle。其实那个 AI 做了大概90分，然后现在我就给我老婆看到，然后那个1分钟她可以就弄好，
把它改一改。
我觉得改一改就可以 po， 所以我觉得 Shorts OK， 可是比较长的我可能要 outsource，因为我老婆也很忙。可是我觉得 AI 有帮忙很多。
是啊。但是我真的在节目里还是要 shout out to Eddy， 就是当初有介绍这个 AI 的这个 software 给我嘛，所以我后来就有就是产出一些 shorts。Yes， 真的是 big shout out to Eddy。It's
great, man, right? Yeah， 其实所以我们也在 record 一些 vertical， 这个我可以给你，然后你可以用 AI。Nice。
对，因为其实我之前做的一些国外的球员，他们因为这是 for English 嘛，所以我必须要把一些 highlights 在 IG 上面，然后就是一样是中文的地方，把它改成就是英文改成中文，它这样就是他在台湾的 audience 就可以比较。
他们会喜欢。我有看到你有一个蛮大的，对，好像100,000 views or something，
对 ，almost like 10万 viewers，That's
amazing，right？所以我觉得这样子，因为 Shorts 还是 TikTok 还是 Instagram Reels，这样子有一个那是很大的机会。
对，
我觉得做得好是一个蛮大的机会。
对，因为其实我本来有想说，是不是把整个 full episode 来1个小时的影片放在 YouTube， 可是我觉得可能大家没有这么多时间
，it's hard
坐在那里然后看1个小时，所以我就把真的比较 highlights 的内容放在 Instagram。
其实我有放在 YouTube 我的1个小时，可是没有很多人看，大概都是看 Shorts 跟 Instagram 跟 highlight， 对，所以我觉得如果都有放，我觉得
都很棒，
就不错，都很棒，对。然后台湾人一直说，哎，那个很强的，他们喜欢，可是没有字幕，
对。
可是如果比如说这个一个半小时要字幕，可能跟一个电影一样，
还要花很多时间，
要一个有点像一个 full time job。可是我觉得 full time job 可能我3万块、4万块1个月，就有点像一个a little bit too much。所以希望 AI 可以进步一点。
是，
其实可是已经好很多，可是
就是它还是在慢慢进步，因为它的那个正确率、错误率还是需要我们要去修改。
对，可是其实进步很多了。
是啊。
可是然后有帮忙我很多。
当然。
所以我觉得，像 ChatGPT，video.ai 那一些就真的是帮忙很多。
是啊。
我也有买过有一个 website 叫 AppSumo，然后他们会有卖怎么讲 lifetime deal， software， 比如说一个 startup company，他们有一个 software， 还是他们有一个 product， 然后他们已经做好，都非常好，可是他们可能没有钱marketing，所以他们放在AppSumo， 然后可能几个月。我们就，如果你是一个 AppSumo 的，你可以买那个 software， 可能美金60块、100块，可是你会有这个 software lifetime，forever， 一直会有这个。然后他们赚到够钱，他们会换到月付，所以
一个月
每个月，所以如果我有一些lifetime， 可是他们也是。进步蛮多的，所以不错。
有很多现在很多的 software 就是可以帮忙，
就是这样，对。
影片或者是 podcast 的东西，
有帮忙很多。
那因为时间的关系呢，可能我们节目要到这边告一个段落。那真的还是很欢迎，就是喜欢墨西哥食物的朋友可以来 Eddy 的餐厅。那喜欢英文的内容，也可以去看这个 Eddy 的 podcast， 就是每个礼拜2都会有一个直播的，
大概7点，晚上7点，对。
但是你的这些影片也都会在 YouTube 上面，
对 ，YouTube Shorts 很多，
就可以去看一些内容。
然后我也还是会share，我有开始做可能20分钟的 maybe condensed version 的影片，然后也是放字幕，然后放在 Facebook。
哇 ，it's nice。
对，所以就慢慢进步。
那真的很开心啊，就是又有一个机会跟 Eddy 可以再做一次 podcast， 然后真的是了解了很多当时 Eddy 来台湾的生活，然后一直到开餐厅的心路历程，遇到哪些困难，然后最后有一些新的 project， 会在未来跟大家见面。那节目到这边告一段落。那 Eddy 的相关资讯呢 ，podcast 跟餐厅我们都会放在这个资讯栏这边，大家可以去参考。对，那我们就下期节目再见喽，拜拜。
Thank you，谢谢，拜拜。Don't forget to subscribe，拜拜。Boom。